What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with yet another update video today, mainly revolving transfers today, and let's kick off with Ndombele. There's been some more updates about him.
Endless updates about Ndombele. Daily Ndombele. We should just do a segment.
The Daily Ndombele.
We should just create a whole YouTube channel just on Ndombele sagas. But more Inter Milan news coming out. This is by TF1, a French publication, saying that negotiations are getting close between Tottenham and Inter Milan for the transfer of Ndombele, and potentially a player could be swapped, which is what I heard before. Alistair Gold has tweeted in reply saying the noise from the club is basically, we don't want to sell him, we're not selling Ndombele this summer, and that's that basically. So again, more rumours put to bed from the club.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they're just saying that to get the fee up?
Could be. It could easily be. Look, I think Romano and Damasio were saying that Tottenham were prepared to settle for 45 million. I can't see that. I really can't. Not in the market. Not when you spent 55 million making a record signing. I don't think they're going to make a loss after one season. So maybe 45 million plus a player. I can see potentially if it's a player that Mourinho really wants. But other than that, I think he will be here.
What's your personal opinion on it all? You prefer him to stay?
I prefer him to stay. I think the guy has a lot of serious ability. I think it's going to take a lot of money to replace someone with his kind of ability. And I think it's such a shame just to discard him after 1 year. When it's been a bad year, no doubt about it. We can all agree it's not been a great year, but I think even in this year we've seen snippets of what he's about and his ability, and I really want him. I'm so desperate for him to succeed at Spurs. I'm convinced if we give him the time, he's going to be a great player for us.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But if he's not going to work at Spurs, I can see how appealing the swap deal with Milan Skriniar is going to be.
Skriniar is one that does appeal to me because I'm a big fan of Skriniar. I'm a big fan, and I think he's a very good centre-back. And I can't think of many replacements for Jan Vertonghen better than him who are available, who we can get. But I still think the potential in Ndombele is higher than
this guy
Skriniar's quality.
Ndombele has got the potential to be one of the best players in the world. He really does.
One of the best midfielders. And also, if he has a good season, his price doubles overnight. Over a year, I mean. You know, his price doubles, so it's so stupid.
If he has another bad season, his price plummets.
Not much. In all honesty, no. I think if he has another bad season, he's still 23 or 24. He's still a player who probably would demand around 45 million.
Yeah, but you're talking about a player who has had one, two good seasons in his career. Last 2 seasons, his attitude has stunk. So it could really plummet.
Well, we don't know if it's attitude or if it's just settling in period, but we really don't know.
I'm saying if it's bad after the next season.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying now.
Maybe you're right. I don't think it plummets that much. You're looking at least 40 million, 100%. We're not even if he has another bad year, we're not going lower than that.
All right, let's move on. And this is another transfer rumour. This is about a player called Celik from Lille. He's a Turkish right back. He's quite young, 23 years of age. To be fair, I haven't seen much of him play. I'm sure you haven't seen much of him play as well. But
get him in.
Get him in. Anyone from Lille. But yeah. I'm hopeful when we're linked with these players from Lille because obviously Sacramento have seen him firsthand. They coached him for a number of years, so if they're looking to bring him back to bring him to Tottenham, then there's obviously a good reason for it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think they know Lille well. They know Lille better than anyone, especially Sacramento. So if he is advising we sign this guy, especially we need a right back, he surely can't give away as many penalties as Aurier. So just get him in. I don't mind. I haven't seen him play. Not gonna lie, I don't know much about him. I have to do my research more on this guy, but. If they're convinced that they want him, and they know Lille very well, so I'm all for it. Why not?
I think sometimes it could be a bit of just lazy journalism linking us to Lille players in this day and age.
Could be, but I think it was reported from the Guardian. I think that we're looking at him, and I think it was. We'll get onto other subjects later, but yeah, I think it was reported down other places. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, look, when we're looking at signing a right back, we're looking at getting rid of Serge Aurier. Looks like he could be off to AC Milan. He's their number one target. When you're looking at bringing in right backs, There's a bit of a shortage of right backs at the moment. I mean, you can't think of many that we can sign. You know, there's the obvious Max Aarons, there's Zeki Celik, Castagne from Atalanta, but apart from those three,
who's actually attainable?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to get Alexander Arnold or Wan-Bissaka or any of them lot. So it's a tough one. Get Trippier back from Atletico. I wouldn't say no at the moment, honestly. But you're right. There's not many great right backs at the moment. It's not a position which is well stocked in world football. Semedo from Barcelona. He's another option who's out of favour. Hakim, we've missed the boat on.
Yeah.
Carvajal, maybe they're looking to replace him potentially. I would take Carvajal, but
that's the one that's going to command a lot of wages.
Who else is there? Klein?
Nah, come on, man. We can't.
Maybe getting back to his best.
We can't. We're literally going down in right backs. It's Kyle Walker, Trippier, Aurier, Klein.
That's not as low as we can get. Mate. Get Stephen Kelly back.
Anyway, that's the Zeki Celik rumour. Next up, Troy Deeney. He's been linked with Spurs, a year-long loan move.
I don't like this article title. It says Tottenham have been offered the chance to sign Troy Deeney. Like everyone's been offered the chance. So he's gone down. He's clearly putting himself about there. Tottenham offered the chance, and that's a link now. But look, Troy Deeney, I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a decent Premier League striker, although most of his goals do seem to come from penalties. He's one of the ones who puts himself about. Look, if we were to sign Deeney at the end of the day, I don't think it would be the worst signing in the world. However, I don't want us to sign him because I just don't think it's the profile of player we want at the moment. I think in terms of quality, there are better players out there who I think we can get. And I think in terms of like an impact sub, I don't think he's the worst player in the world. I think we have to set our sights higher than Troy Deeney.
First of all, I think it would be great for when we played Arsenal.
Yeah,
they would lack their cojones big time. Imagine a Jose Mourinho, Troy Deeney matchup against Arsenal.
I wouldn't mind that. Just send him on for 10 minutes, elbow everyone.
Shithousery at his absolute finest. But no, look, Troy Deeney, he would be a signing to fill a gap for a year. That's about it.
Pretty much.
I don't think it would be a bad signing, like you said. But if we're going to sign a player that's gone down in the striker, I think Callum Wilson's your guy. Callum Wilson should be our guy.
I think you've got to give Deeney more credit than people are giving him on social media. He has been a consistent Premier League striker for now 3 or 4 years now. He consistently gets at least 10 Premier League goals a season. So I think the disrespect on social media is a bit much.
Shows leadership qualities.
Yeah, but I do think we have to be setting our sights higher than Troy Deeney. I think we could do better than him. And I think he should be at starting for a lower table team in the Premier League and not be backup for us.
He should go to like Leeds or something.
Something like that, yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the final part of the video, and we are going to talk about Danny Rose. Now, he's been talking to the press yet again.
He loves a good chat to the press, doesn't he?
He's been talking to the press yet again, and some really interesting quotes from him.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a guy who said he couldn't wait to get out of Tottenham. But back in January, he said when he saw Newcastle's left back got injured, he was straight onto the phone. He was like, I want to go there. So this is a bit of a change of tune. He said. He said on a podcast, the Second Captain podcast, he said, I'm very happy to stay at Tottenham and see my last 10 or 11 months out. I would love to. There is nothing I want more than to play one more time in front of the fans. My last game for Spurs was a 1-0 defeat to Liverpool, and at the time I didn't know that was going to be or could be my last game for Spurs. Which is interesting because he said he rang his agent straight away. But I want nothing more than to play in front of the Tottenham fans one more time, just to cherish all the moments we have had over the years with them. They have always been good to me. I've possibly given them reasons in the past not to be so good to me, but they know when it was game time, I gave everything for them. I'll continue to do that as long as I'm contracted to Tottenham. For me, I couldn't stress it enough. I would love nothing more than to play one last time for Tottenham and just be able to say goodbye to them and thank them for everything they have done for me as a person and as a player. Ultimately, as good as I am or was, or is because of the love they gave me. I'm very relaxed. It is off season now. It all starts again in a few weeks. I'll just have to wait and see. But for me, I would love nothing more than to play for those fans once again, which is very, very interesting comments from Danny Rose. A big 180 on what he was saying in January.
Yeah, and as well, he's also dug into the Spurs fans before for kind of the way we treated him at the beginning of his Spurs career,
which I think was fair enough, to be honest.
Yeah,
we were very, very harsh on him.
We were, but I think those Danny's quotes, they're great quotes. I mean, for him, he's not saying that he wants to come back to us and play. He just wants one last hurrah kind of thing, just to say goodbye to the fans.
But he also said he wants to see out his contract, 10 or 11 months, which is a bit of a weird thing to say, because if he has a great season, then what? Is he not going to sign a contract if we offer him a contract? I don't know.
I mean, I still stand by that he's technically the best left back at the club.
I think at his best, yeah. I mean, he wasn't great at Newcastle in his spell there. I think, in all honesty, if the takeover went through and they wanted him to stay, he probably would have stayed there. I think this whole takeover thing has gone to put, and I think he probably doesn't see a future in Newcastle, and he probably doesn't want to be battling relegation, and he probably sees that he has actually got a better thing going than he thought at Spurs in terms of a team challenging top four, and under Jose Mourinho maybe he has a chance of winning something, and it's a better team to play in than Newcastle. And I think maybe it all got to his head in January, and things weren't going well. He wasn't playing the best. He just wanted out. But maybe he sees that grass isn't always greener when you move, and maybe he wants one last shot. I think if he was to come back into the fold and give it his all, I think he would be welcomed back by the Spurs fans.
Anyone that gives their all is going to be welcomed back, especially him.
And also, you got to remember, even when he had those quotes back in 2017 and he was getting a lot of stick from the Spurs fans, the first time we saw him after that was Madrid away, and we gave him a great ovation, or we were there in the Bernabeu, and he got a great ovation from the fans. So
centre mid, wasn't it?
Yeah, he played centre mid, and I think the Spurs fans had forgiven him fairly quickly after that, even though he came in for a lot of criticism. Well, so I think the Spurs fans still love him.
Yeah, look, even recently when he's played, not recent, whenever he has played, the fans have always given him love. I mean, the guy puts in 110% on the pitch, but his fitness hasn't been there the last couple of years. I think if we can get him back fit, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, it could solve our left-back problems this year. Like I said, I think he's the best left-back in the squad. But talking to the Sun like that is a bit unforgivable at the time. But having said that...
But he actually addressed that.
Yeah, I know. But let's go on that in a second. But having said that, the stuff he was saying, like he said, was 100% true at the time. And there's no getting away from that.
And it's very interesting because he commented on his interview in the Sun in 2017, and he always says how honest he is, and if he's asked a question he'll answer it. And he was saying how he was asked if he regrets those comments, and he said what he does regret is the timing, which is what we mainly criticise him for, the timing of those comments, because it was on the eve of the start of the Premier League season.
Yeah.
Which he said that's what he most regrets, because he said it put the club in a bit of disarray at the time. But he doesn't regret he doesn't regret the content of what he said, and he says, and
he should regret who he's talking to too.
And the most interesting thing what he said was when the whole changing room think the same and all the fans think the same, why aren't I going to say it? And him saying the whole changing room felt how he felt is very interesting, I think, because it means that all the players at the time clearly backed Danny Rose and what he was saying. And I have many of them increased their pay packet since then. Maybe Dele Alli, Harry Kane has, Toby has.
I'm sure they all have, to be honest.
Yeah, Hugo has.
They've all signed some contracts since then.
I think since 2017 they've all signed contracts. So maybe they don't feel the same anymore, but they did then. So maybe this whole, the whole downfall, or the how the club has gone, because the club is kind of, the playing squad anyway is kind of we've regressed. Obviously, everyone knows that since then we've regressed.
We all know what the issues were. We all knew what the issues are, and it was evident for everyone to see. We weren't paying our players enough money. We were paying them enough money, but comparing them to the rest of the Premier League and to their counterparts, we weren't paying them enough money. We weren't getting the signings we needed in and through that door. So all those things were completely warranted. But like you said, the timing of what he was saying and who he was saying it to is the problem.
Yeah, and also I think the fact that he'd just been injured for 6 months, and Davis had actually been playing pretty well at the time, so he kind of just left a bad taste in the mouth. Like he kind of implied he just demanded a first team spot as soon as he got fit, even though Davis was actually having a good game, and we just won 13 out of 14 games. So it left a bad taste in the mouth at that time. But I think in hindsight, obviously, and even at the time, I think we could all agree that most of what he said was true.
But all in all, I would 100% welcome back Danny Rose with open arms if he gets fit and firing back to his best. I believe he can. He's not too old. He hasn't completely passed it. I think he's just gone through. I think he's had a few mental health issues as well, not just with his fitness. So I think if he gets everything back to his best, I back him to do that completely. I saw those pictures up in Newcastle training during lockdown. He looked double the size.
Yeah, he does look quite big.
He spoke about when he moved up to Newcastle, saying there weren't any decent chippies back in London. I think he's had too many chippies up north.
Well, I mean, you ever seen that video of Steve Bruce walking into like a Burger King or something? It's the best video I've ever seen. He's like orders like this fat meal. It's so good. But it was interesting. There was more reports coming out in response to Danny Rose's quotes. I think it was from The Guardian, saying that even though Rose wants to stay, it's Tottenham's intention this summer to sell him because they don't want him to run down his contract. And apparently Mourinho is happy to go forward this season with Ben Davies and Dennis Kirkin as our left backs.
And Sessegnon.
No, apparently those two as our main two.
It's mad that Sirkin's going to just overlap Sessegnon.
That's
like
apparently
after
the reports.
25 million last summer.
The reports is that he's that's what we want. I
Do you
think
reckon
apparently Mourinho sees Sessegnon more of a left winger than a left back. Yeah.
Right.
But Sirkin, I'm interested to see if he's part of the first team next season. I don't think has he made his debut yet. So I'm interested to see how he performs. Because Mourinho seems to really believe in him.
Yeah.
Ever since Mourinho's come in, he's been involved in the first team.
Yeah, I believe Pochettino's rang his praises as well a few times. But yeah, there you go. That is our Tottenham update today. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of all that news. We spoke about Ndombele transfer rumours, Troy Deeney, Zeki Celik, and the big Danny Rose quotes as well. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about all that news. And as always, come on you Spurs.